please.
I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Monroe County Stormwater Management Board on Wednesday, September 13th, 2023. And the first order of business is public input for items not on the agenda. Cats, I can't see if there might be anyone.
Not cats, TSD.
Or TSD, I'm sorry, TSD, I can't see. Thank you. Doesn't look like it. And since there's no one here in the room, we can move on to approval of the minutes.
Move approval of the minutes for July 19, 2023.
A second.
Thank you. Any comments?
Yes, I had just a couple. The first time we see SWCD, could that please be spelled out so that it's in the minutes that it's Soil and Water Conservation District? And we canceled the August, not the September meeting, which is what it says in the minutes. And I don't know that it was said at the meeting. I did not go back and look, but in terms of creating the new position for soil and water, you're working with both the commissioners and I believe county council it has to go through PAC. So I don't know if we need to correct that. But again, I'm not sure that that's what was actually said at the meeting.
You can just put it in a hard square parentheses so that it's the record's updated to be accurate, but we don't know if that person said it or not. How about that?
Yeah, I appreciate that. So
it's a little trick from academia, right?
Yeah, well, you know, I do take this seriously to read them. So.
Yes.
It refreshes my memory.
I didn't notice that. I will be honest. I did not notice that. So I appreciate you picked that up.
If there isn't anything further, could we please, which of you are doing the roll call vote?
We need to do a roll call vote because
Tron isn't here.
Because he's virtual.
Or he is here. He's on Zoom.
Okay. Commissioner Givens?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
yes.
Tron?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
The
you.
vote is unanimous.
Motion carried. And the next item of business is the stormwater expenditure report for July and August 2023.
Hello. Okay, so we'll start with the July expenditure report. Looking in the top box under expenditures, I'll start with field crew supplies for the amount of $443.08. This was for corrugated pipe for the BMP sand filter that needed to be replaced, along with some wood marking items for marking areas that need to be hydroseeded or ditched by the crew, and then other minor items such as clamps, batteries, and repair items for a cutoff chainsaw. For the fleet maintenance line, the Great All needed some new filters and general maintenance, so that's where most of the cost came from for that. Backfill pavement repair, there was a correction there for $1,000 that was to be paid out of stormwater instead of a highway account, so that's accounted for there. But then for the expenditure of $2,572, that's mostly stone, asphalt, that is used for storm pipe outlet repairs, inlet repairs, washout repairs throughout the summer. Down into training and travel, this was for Kelsey's annual CESWI renewal. That's a certified erosion, sediment, and stormwater inspector license that she holds. And for on-call contract services, this was for a lot of flagging that was performed towards the end of June and early to mid-July. For disposal fees, this is our street sweeping debris disposal primarily, and then just for some clean fill drop-off that was dropped off. For professional fees, this is drainage plan reviews that are contracted out. For printing and advertising, skipped public education and participation. This is an exciting one. It's our 2023 Bug Fest sponsorship, which is coming up Saturday, September 23rd. For printing and advertising, this was for our 2024 Stormwater calendar. 500 copies were printed. Under gas, oil, and lube, this was our June 2023 fuel usage, lower than May 2023 summer, so that's good. For rental of equipment, this was for a stump grinder rental for a tree stump removal. That's all of July's expenditures. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer any. Good? Okay. Right, I'll move on to August. So starting up at the top again, for office supplies, $53.14. This was for a voided and reissued payment for name tags. The company changed ownership, so there was some lack of coordination, I guess, happening to try and get that taken care of. For field crew supplies, this was for curb marker adhesive for fastening the storm drains markers on top of the inlets, and then for manhole hooks. The fleet maintenance, the sweeper was the primary piece of equipment that needed some work. It needed, I believe, a new pump. For the seed, mulch, compost, and plantings line, this was for some straw that was utilized. Under the pipes, this was for a storm pipe that was being replaced on a street, Clearview Drive. For backfill pavement repair, this is again quite a bit of stone, bricks, pavement for repairing inlets, washout repairs, driveway culvert installs ahead of paving. For training and travel, this is for the INAFSUM annual conference registration, which Erica and Adam are at right now, and a renewal of annual membership fees. For on-call contract servicing services, this is for a lot of flagging between mid-July and mid-August. For disposal fees, this was also a voided and reissued payment to Sycamore Ridge landfill. And then the expenditures was also included clean fill disposal and brush disposal. For professional fees, these are more drainage plan reviews that were contracted out. Under gas, oil, and lube, this is our July 2023 fuel usage, the lowest we have seen this year so far. And gas prices have been down quite a bit from last year, so that's good. Drug testing, this was a routine drug screening for one of our crew members. And under Baby Creek number 3, this was towards design phase 2 for some additional sub-coordination. And that's all for the August expenditure report.
I just have one comment, and I guess that's because we're looking at training and travel for INASM, and that's where I am right now at INASM, the Indiana Association of Floodplain and Stormwater Management. I did see Erica and Adam, and also we have 2 planners here too, Tammy Van our assistant planning director, and Priscillius, one of our more senior planners. So it's really great to see everyone here, and I just wanted to make note that that's why I'm attending virtually today for the public. And thank you, Lynette. Great overview. No other questions, just a comment.
Thank you. Are there any other comments?
I will just note that usually when something is ditched, it sounds like a horrible thing, but in this case, it's like, yay, ditched. All right, never mind.
Yeah, you're right.
And some people like ditching and some people don't.
All right.
You know, I spoke to an IU class recently, and I didn't even think to talk about how important stormwater is to maintaining highway roads. I mean, it's critical.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
next time.
It works great that the crews all work together and hand in hand with all the paving projects, and it's come a long way in the last couple of years. So it's been great assistance.
Well, and as we look at potentially a lot more concentrated rainfall, it's even more critical that those are fully operational.
Yeah. All right. Then, let's see, new business. The first item is HNTB proposal for Bean Blossom Stabilization Feasibility Study. And Ms. Ridge?
So in your packets, you have a summary from Kelsey explaining the 2 task orders. I'm happy to read task order number 1 is with HNTB for hydraulic and hydrologic modeling of 2 locations on Bean Blossom Creek. The task order will be under our prior approved on-call contract with which we already have with HNTB. We wanted to take on this modeling project after we had 2 roads require bank stabilization repair last year, Woodland Road and Old Maple Grove Road. The study will provide recommendations for practices we can implement to the future to protect the stream banks and in turn protect our roadways. This project will count as an in-kind match for the Bean Blossom Creek Watershed Management Plan, WMP, and the outcome of the study will be included in the WMP. Kelsey's hoping to apply for a DNR for grant money for a design build project in the future. So this is kind of kicking off that area for that project. And I remember going out there and looking at the bank, and it gets closer and closer to the road, and if you don't act upon it, then it is going to do damage and require more extensive work to be done. So we're thrilled to try and bring on HNTB for this task.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
I just have a comment. I think the bank stabilization effort is a great initiative. I also think that this could somewhat give us a baseline of what kind of costs we might incur in the future if we want to, extend our efforts with some of the bank stabilization. And I'm very supportive of this. And thanks for bringing it today to Lisa.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and make a motion to accept the HNTB proposal for Bean Blossom Stabilization Feasibility Study.
Second?
Did you have any questions or comments?
No, I didn't know what HNTB stood for, but we looked it up and it's just
HNTB
Corporation.
It stands for HNTB. Yeah.
I did have one question that may be unfair without Kelsey being here. The tree clearing.
That's a different contract.
Oh, yes, it is.
Task order.
It is, sorry.
That's the
Next
next
one.
task.
And that means what I was worrying about isn't even relevant, so we can
It will
forget
be
my
in a moment.
question.
It will be in a moment.
Next
Oh,
one,
okay.
next one.
All right. Okay. Never mind.
All right. Then if there, is there any public comment on this item? Seeing none, may we please have a roll call vote?
Commissioner Githens,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Tron Enright. Enright.
That reminds me of Larry Wilson. He used to call my name. Lisa, you're doing a terrific job. Thanks for taking the lead on the meeting today. I vote yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. And our next item of business is Stipp Road and Moores Creek Road Improvements Project, Lochmuller proposal for project management, construction, inspection, and utility coordination.
Okay. Again, I have a summary here from Kelsey. We sat down and talked with a couple of consultants, Aztec Engineering, and then also Lochmuller Group. We have Lochmuller Group as a construction inspection team on one of our other major projects, and they've done a really thorough, we've been very happy with their services on that. That probably gave them a little bit of headway on making this decision. It's never an easy decision to choose a group, but for their project management and construction inspection, utility coordinations that we've seen, we'd like to do this for the Stipp Road and Moores Creek Improvement Project. We already have an on-call agreement with Lochmuller, and again, we've had positive experience in working with the company on other projects. I know Kelsey had planned on doing a presentation, an overview, and an update for this project, which we'll have her do at the October meeting. But yeah, we're moving forward. I think all permits are in hand, and got the easements recorded. And then I believe the next will be going into tree clearing after November 1st. But yeah, I'll let her do her presentation. So sorry she couldn't be here today.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments?
My only comment is that we've seen how if you don't do the correct utility coordination, it really, really messes up the schedule, and it's costly as well. So.
And my question is relating to the total price, which is $200,400. I feel like that's within our budget. That's how we budgeted, but I didn't have time to go back and.
Yeah, and we probably don't have it spelled out exactly, but it's kind of what we anticipated for these types of services to be. We compared it with other contracts that we have.
Yeah.
And then we also had our engineer take a look at it and review for cost and comparison to
what we
these types of
budgeted
services.
for at the beginning. Okay, and then with the tree clearing, that's going to be outside of bat season. And then the other thing is, are we replacing any of those trees?
Yes, we do have a replacement plan. I don't think we're required because it's not a federal aid project, but we are requiring it.
Yeah,
so
that's excellent.
We want to do I think it's a 1-to-4, 1-to-5 ratio that we want to adhere to.
Yeah, I think it's great, especially considering the fact that there is such a removal process for the neighbors, but also because this area is prone to erosion and flooding, and to replace the trees, I think, is important just for that reason.
It's very extensive on the tree clearing, and it's a lot of trees. It's required, but again, we want to do tree mitigation.
Great, thank you. I know they're going to appreciate that, and actually it turns out young trees produce more oxygen than older trees that are larger, which is so crazy, but true. Okay, thank you.
All right, Mr. Enright. Randolph, did you have something to say?
Yes, thanks. I was going to raise my virtual hand. I figured there would be several questions and comments on this one. I'll lower it. Yes, I think moving forward on these projects is great. I guess I have a question very similar like Commissioner Thomas had. We did budget for this amount, and I guess my question is, we're not planning to seek any additional appropriation. I would maybe assume that we might have to do some in-house transferring. I guess that's my first question. Do you think we're going to have to transfer any funds, or I guess it's a two-part question for you, Lisa, if you're able to address that. My assumption is we won't do an additional appropriation, and there might be a need for in-house transfer. You could address that.
Correct. I believe Baby Creek, I believe we have funds. I don't have a budget in front of me. I apologize. I'm confident that we have funds in Morse Creek and Stip Road project. And then we also have funding in the Baby Creek project. So if we need to, whichever one comes first, we can make those transfers within those lines. And then I know we did put money into those funds for the 2024 budget.
Okay. Oh yeah, this might go to 24. I guess my final question is there an impetus to why we want to approve it today prior to the presentation? And I was just curious if it's because of the tree clearing. Sorry about the background noise. It just started getting a little busy in here. Is it because of getting the tree clearing done? As far as we only have a timeline to make sure that we're able to clear those because of the Indiana bat? Or is there another impetus of why we're, I guess, here asking for approval today prior to getting that presentation by Kelsey?
The presentation is more of an update timeline for you. Just since we were bringing this contract and this task to you, we thought it was appropriate time to be able to do the update for the overall project, kind of what direction we're headed between Moores Creek and Stip Road, what we see as a priority. So even with that presentation, it won't change who we believe is the best for this task and for these services. And then it also goes to the county commissioners, and we have conferences coming up and such. So it might not even get to the commissioners till the end of September, 1st of October. And then we're, 30 days from tree clearing. So we just try to keep it moving.
I totally understand. You said it the nicest way, that sometimes the county moves slow on certain things because of how the
Not
process.
that anybody else is slow, but I might be.
Yeah, never.
I'll take the blame for my end too. I guess one final comment is on the presentation. It would be really nice if it's not already kind of put together to focus on each one of these phases to really see what we're getting for each phase. And you maybe could just pass that along. Hopefully that's kind of how the presentation is, but I would really like to see it kind of broken down to each one of the phases that are kind of outlined here.
Okay,
And that's
we'll pass that
my
on
only
to
other
Kelsey.
comment.
All right.
All right, if there are no further comments or questions, I would entertain a motion.
I'd like to move to approve the Lockmuir Group proposal for construction inspection fees in 3 phases for a total of $200,400.
Second?
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
All right. Public comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there any public comment? I'm afraid we still don't have any public, so no.
No. I'd see.
Commissioner Givens,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Tron Enright Randolph.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. And our next item of business is staff reports.
Well, since the staff is all at the conference, I will say we did have our budget hearings last week. Everything went well. Nothing was changed in the budget at this point. I believe the council will discuss the COLA at the end of their budget hearings tomorrow, and then we'll seek, further guidance from that, and then maybe have to redo the budget, and then we'll forward the budget on to the board if we have to make any changes for that.
Great. Then, if there's nothing further, we're adjourned, and the date of our next meeting will be Wednesday, October 11th, 2023.
All right. Thank you.